please. All right, perfect. Hi, everybody. I am Mr. Bruno. I am the College and Career Counselor here at Round Lake High School. This is our third and final college panel for this semester. Thanks for joining us virtually. If you're watching this on YouTube, thanks for watching this a little bit after the live presentation. I appreciate you spending some time getting to learn about some schools. This presentation has schools outside of Illinois, which is nice to hear about schools that aren't just local, but from all around, which is pretty different for us. So it's cool to hear from a bunch of different schools. We have public schools, private schools, big schools, small schools. So you're gonna hear a whole bunch of different things. I also have some questions that were sent in earlier. So we will have a question and answer segment. For those of you that are in attendance, you may ask questions inside the chat feature. Just make sure you ask your questions to all panelists. We will take questions at the very end, so feel free to ask your questions in the questions section and the chat feature down below. We are gonna just have I'm gonna introduce everybody real quickly, and then each school is going to talk about their school for about 10 minutes. They'll do a brief slideshow, talk about their school, and then at the end we'll do the question and answer segment. So I am going to start with Megan at Elmhurst. It's kind of like if we were the Brady Bunch right now. I feel like there's a bunch of squares here. So on my screen, Megan is down to my corner. So Megan is from Elmhurst University. It used to be Elmhurst College, but they now are like a big brother, big sister. They have grown up. They're Elmhurst University now. So you can go all the way from your undergrad and you can get your doctoral degree there at Elmhurst University. So hi, Megan. Thanks for joining us today. I appreciate it. We have to my left over here at Augustana College, we have Courtney from Augustana. Thanks for joining us. At the very bottom of my screen, we have Annabelle from University of Iowa. Directly underneath me, we have Tiffany from Colorado State. We have Ripon College. We have Hannah to my right. Rosa is not on my screen right now, but she will be popping in and out here from Dominican. I know she's been having a little bit of technical issues, but she's popping up at the end here. So no worries with Rosa, but Rosa is from Dominican University. And rounding us out today, the troublemaker of the group is Jake from Loyola University. See, he knows what I'm talking about. Jake from Loyola will be rounding us out, talking to us about Loyola. So we are going to start with Megan at Elmhurst, who's going to tell us all about Elmhurst University and why it's such an amazing school. So Megan, the floor is yours.
Awesome. Well, thank you all. Again, my name is Megan Wade. I'm one of the assistant directors in our Office of Admission. So thank you for being able to tune in and learn a little bit about Elmhurst University and some of the other schools. I'm also a proud alumni of Elmhurst. I was a psychology major. So as I'm kind of talking through, I might highlight a little bit in regards to my student experience. So we are going to learn a little bit about Elmhurst University. We actually just transitioned this summer to Elmhurst University, so we are very excited for that transition. We are quickly approaching our 150th anniversary on campus. We were founded in 1871, so we've been around for quite some time with our institution. We are a certified arboretum, so campus is beautiful right now, especially these warm November days that we've been having. Campus has just been beautiful to come and walk around and kind of get some exposure of campus. We are on the smaller scale, as Mr. Bruno mentioned. We've got lots of different schools that are represented today. We're on the smaller scale. We have in total with our graduate student body population, we have just about 3,500 students with just under 3,000 undergrad students. So it is a really tight-knit community, and absolutely that's what we're all about, is our community and our small class sizes. Our average class size tend to be about 17 to 18 students. So we really want our students to get connected with our faculty and other students on campus. We are located in the western suburbs of Illinois, so really not too far from the Round Lake area. Depending on traffic, it may take you about 45 minutes to an hour to get to campus. So it's a really, easy drive to get to campus. We're located in the town of Elmhurst, so within walking distance from our campus, students can easily hop on the Metro train line to take you right into downtown Chicago, to go through, and explore and do some sightseeing if you're interested in that. And then a couple steps past our Metro train line, students can walk right into downtown Elmhurst. So there's a lively community there there's a bowling alley, there's a movie theater, there's restaurants for students to go through and even grab a cup of coffee. And the picture here is one of our great coffee shops that we have, and they, with everything that they've had to be creative with a kind of a walk up window to get their coffee. They employ some of our students if they're looking for different jobs, and some of our business students have actually done internships at Ripon Coffee in terms of assisting with their marketing. So we're just as much a part of our Town community as they are a part of us. So we really thrive in terms of those components. So there's a lot to offer right around campus, which is really helpful. Like I mentioned, a lot of students can do internships in downtown Chicago too. With our convenient location, students can hop on the Metro train line or even go to sightseeing, or they can definitely do internship components because we do require all of our students to have an internship component. So there's a lot that's offered with a quick train ride into the city. Um, we are a liberal arts institution. So what that means in our context, we take kind of a holistic approach in terms of our classes. So even though students may be, like I was a psychology major, I still took an acting class. I still took my science classes. So you'll learn a lot in terms of your courses outside to really make you marketable, to have those transferable skills. Even though you might be a science major, you'll still have a speech class and really learn a lot of skills that will help you market yourself in the field when you get closer to graduation. So we really strive for students to have a really great experience in those professional development pieces while they are a student on our campus. We have over about 70 different majors on campus. Some of our top majors are music, nursing, business, and education. So there's a lot within those areas. We do have some newer programs in terms of public health, was new this year. Within the past few years, we now have a digital media program. We have environmental studies. So we're constantly kind of evaluating what the need is for students and what they're interested in majoring in. So there's a lot that you can go through and select from. And with being a liberal arts institution, students have the opportunity to go through and add on a minor or a double major and really hone in on kind of their areas of interest. So there's definitely a lot to offer in terms of the academic side and the coursework that students get to explore, which is helpful. Then we also really focus in on that professional development piece. So students are interested in some of the health related fields and or interested in going into law school one day or want to do engineering. We have partnerships with different institutions and different things that students can take advantage of. We do have a health professions advisor that will work with students if they are interested in going into the health related field. So we do really want students to thrive outside the classroom, but then be ready for their next step if you are interested in going into graduate school or professional school for those specific programs. So we really want students to be ready for that next step after they graduate as well. We also really focus in on student support. So whether that be students getting assistance from the Learning Center, or we have a Weekend Center for Professional Excellence or the Wellness Center who were interested in utilizing our counseling services. So there's a lot that we really want students to be well supported in. We even have in our diversity and inclusion office on campus, we have a Blue Jay First program that really focuses in on assisting students that are first generation college students. So there's a lot that we really want to support our students in and make sure that they have all of the resources that they need. Now you'll see on my screen, it talks through our WCPE. So I mentioned the internship components and professional development. In addition to the strong academics that you'll receive, students have the chance to explore their careers. So you may be, tuning into this panel and you may not know 100% sure exactly what you're interested in studying. That's what we have a center for, dedicated for that career exploration piece. So there's really a lot that students can focus in terms of their professional development, and the real world experiences and the internship components, which is really, really helpful. Um, Students can live on our campus, so you can be a residential student and you can commute if that's an option for you. So as you're thinking through your must-have college search list, you may kind of realize that you may want to live on campus or you may want to commute. You have that flexibility at Elmhurst to kind of select kind of what option that you're interested in getting involved in. And all of our students are really involved on campus, whether you're a commuter student or a residential student. So there's a lot that you can really kind of offer. As I kind of wrap up my time, I did want to highlight some of the different things in terms of scholarship components and the application pieces. We do offer merit-based scholarships for students that go through and apply. For this school year, students have gone through and we are test optional. So if students want to submit in their application, and they can submit in a test score or a required essay in their high school transcripts, depending on the availability of that. Then we would review a student for their scholarship if they're eligible for admission. And then we do have two full tuition scholarships that I always like to highlight. One is for service and one is for our first generation college students. So just wanted to highlight a couple of those. So if we have any, seniors that happen to tune in, I'll definitely be following up in regards to some additional details on that front. And lastly, that's my contact information. So if there's any other additional questions that come up, I'll also insert my information into the chat. And then I will now turn it over to, I believe, Augustina is next.
Thank you. I am going to get ready and share my screen here as well. Well, there we go. Okay, we should be all set to go. Welcome, welcome. My name is Courtney Wallace. I'm the Director of Admission for Augustana College in the Chicagoland area. So I'm regionally based. I actually live in Oak Park, so not too terribly far from you guys. I know that we have a lot to talk about, and so I'm going to get started. First of all, give you some stats. We have about 2,500 total students on campus right now, and this is certainly small enough for personal attention, but not tiny. Our campus is a real community, and it won't take you long to feel like you're a part of it too. We have an 11-to-1 student to faculty ratio, and we feel like ratio really symbolizes the commitment to making sure that nobody gets lost in the crowd. Faculty are focused specifically on an undergraduate experience. And while many of them do research, their main priority is educating undergraduate students. Everyone who works at Augustana understands our job is to serve Augustana students. And so the student-centered approach is everything that we do. Our average class size is only 18. And so that's probably maybe smaller than what your high school experience is like right now. And so students really know their professors, and professors become mentors. And you'll be able to learn not only from your professors, but you'll also be learning from your classmates. You're going to have spirited debates. You're going to have meaningful interactions. And if you enjoy an active learning style, Augie could be a really great place for you. We do have 90 different majors and related areas of study. So we're adding new majors all the time, but are really focusing right now on the commitment to the humanities. We don't require that students pick a major coming into Augustana. We really feel like you should explore and learn a little bit more about yourself, especially during your first year and before you're required to choose. Students that choose Augustana are also usually wanting to study in more than one thing. Megan mentioned this earlier, but about 40% of our students have more than just one major. So our new majors for this year are data analytics and kinesiology. And we also added a direct admit Master of Science in Speech Language Pathology. And I'll talk a little bit more about the fun stuff, but we also know that you choose to go to college not only to get a great education, but to also have fun and pursue those passions. And so I'll, again, talk a little bit about that later on. Well, shoot. There we go. So where is the Quad Cities? If you're not really familiar with the Quad Cities, it's about 2.5 to 3 hours directly west of you of us here in the Chicagoland area. I think it's the perfect distance from home. It's far enough where you feel like you can really have an independent college experience, but it's close enough where your family could come on a Sunday and take you out to lunch for your birthday or something special. Or if you were like me, you had to head home for grandma's birthday or something special for a sibling, and you're able to get home. The Quad Cities is actually a pretty large community. It's about 400,000 people. And so there is really a lot of fun things to do. So whether you're an outdoor person and you really want to hike, bike, or walk along the Mississippi River, that's a great opportunity. But there's also lots of really fun cultural and arts type of things. We have museums, and there's always new great restaurants to check out when I'm in town. Really everything that you do here in the Chicagoland area, besides professional sports, you can certainly take advantage of in the Quad Cities. You'll notice that it's the Quad Cities. So this is 4 cities. And if you would ask some local folks, they would tell you there's actually 5, but Quad Cities sounds a little bit better. Augustana is actually located in Rock Island. And so there's 2 of the Quad Cities in Illinois, Rock Island and Moline, and 2 in Iowa, Davenport and Bettendorf. So you're going to drive through a lot of cornfields on your way to the Quad Cities, but you're really going to be surprised at all the opportunities that await you there. Killer job opportunities, home to Fortune 500 companies, and just really a lot of fun. So we want to make sure that you know that we are committed to your success after graduation. So committed to career preparation. And that means helping students collect all the experiences that will ensure their success after college. And that is our top goal. We want you to leave Augie and start your real job, or attend grad school and be prepared for that. And we have a career center like no other that brings together services and helps students prepare for life after college. And it's in one place, which we really think is helpful. Our career center helps students, obviously, if you need to do an interview, or if you need to help with an internship or full-time employment, they're definitely there to help you out. We're also committed to diversity, equity, and inclusion. We value diversity. We want every student to feel like they have a sense of belonging on campus. While the biggest portion of our students come from the state of Illinois, we're proud that our campus community has students from over 40 nations and 32 different states, and nearly 40% of our students are students of color or international students. Augustana also, for the 2nd year in a row, has won a higher education award in diversity, equity, and inclusion. And we're actually the only small school in Illinois to have won that award. We know that we still have work to do, but are really proud of our success so far. And an ever more diverse needs young people who really know how to work together. So a little bit about balance, and this is something that we really value at Augustana, is your ability to do well in school and also really fulfill all the things that you're passionate about. And so up in the top right-hand corner, you'll see that 1 in 3 of our students are varsity athletes. We have a great tradition of winning, but that's not all college is all about. And so if you're interested in varsity athletics, we are NCAA Division III in the College Conference of Illinois and Wisconsin, along with Elmhurstu, who is on here tonight. Also, 1 in 4 of our students participates in the performing arts. And so whether you want to major in that or whether you don't, there's lots of opportunities for you there. And I mentioned earlier, we have lots of clubs. And so whether you love Quidditch or whether you love Star Wars, whether you want to train service animals, there's definitely something for you. And lastly, we actually rank in the top 10 in the nation. We're actually ranked number 7 for the number of academic All-Americans that we've produced. And we think that this really symbolizes what Augustana is all about: balance, doing well in school, but also being able to pursue a passion. So a couple of quick stats: 9 out of every 10 of our students does an internship research or an international program. Actually, 55% of our students study away, and we have all kinds of incredible opportunities for them. And 98% of their students were in graduate school or in their professional field within 6 months of graduation. So we not only want you to graduate, but we want you to be doing the things that you hope to be doing. So how do we make sure these students have these extraordinary experiences? We definitely don't want money to get in the way of all that. So we have a one-of-a-kind program called Augie Choice, which gives all students $2,000 to use towards internship, research, or international program. So how do you join the Augie community? Well, you're probably in the application process right now. We have our own application. We're also a part of the Common App. This year, we have the only requirements are the application, transcript, and a secondary school report. Augustana has been test optional for us since 2007, so we're really comfortable with making admissions decisions. And scholarships and financial aid are available once you apply for admission. We are a private school, and so we do have lots of different aid available. Our merit scholarships range from $24,000 to $28,000 per year. And then next steps for seniors that are listening, please plan to apply. Set up a meeting with me. I am more than happy to chat with you and talk to you a little bit more about what Augustana has to offer. So thank you so very much, everyone. You've been a wonderful audience, and I'm going to turn it over to my colleagues.
All right, next up is Annabelle from University of Iowa.
All right, so thank you, Courtney and Mr. Bruno. Now, if you plan to visit Augustana and you want to keep going west, you will run yourself into Iowa City, Iowa, which is the home of the University of Iowa. So like Courtney said, you'll see a lot of cornfields on the way, but you won't see any cornfields on our campus. We are located in a college town. So if you're not familiar with the University of Iowa, Iowa City is about the size of a suburb. We have just over 73,000 residents in Iowa City. The University of Iowa is a bigger school. We have just over 31,000 students, and we are within the Big Ten Conference. So if you follow any Big Ten athletics or are familiar with Northwestern or University of Illinois, University of Iowa is in that same conference. So if you can see my cursor here, so I will actually send you this website after the visit. But the building in the center here is basically the center of our campus. It's referred to as the old Capitol building. It is a museum, so you won't have any classes in that building, but the 4 buildings surrounding the old Capitol is where most of your first year classes will be held. Now, we do have a lot of academic buildings on our campus, but the great thing about the way that our campus is laid out is right across the street from the center of our campus at the very bottom here is our downtown area of Iowa City. So that's technically off campus, but we do have a lot of events that take place there, such as our homecoming parade. We have arts festivals and jazz festivals, and we have something called the Taste of Iowa City. So similar to the Taste of Chicago, but on a much, much smaller scale. It's a great way for you to just eat your way through Iowa City, dessert crawls, coffee crawls. One thing that when we hear from alumni when they leave the University of Iowa is something that they miss is the food, and that's just part of the downtown area of Iowa City. So we have over 100 cafes and restaurants, and 70 of those are owned by Iowa alumni. So I think that's a pretty cool fun fact. If you are interested in engineering or business, the buildings are right next to the center of our campus. So everything is centralized in this area here. Now you can kind of see in the background here, we do have a river that runs through our campus. So on the other side of the river, that's where we have our academic buildings for our professional colleges. So the College of Law, Medicine, Dentistry, Pharmacy, Public Health. We also have the University of Iowa hospitals and clinics on the west side of campus, which is one of the top teaching and research facilities in the country. So if you're looking to go into the health sciences, that's a great place for you to get volunteer and work experience. But in addition to that hospital, we also have Mercy Hospital, which is a few blocks from the downtown area, and a VA hospital that's over on the west side too. So those are 3 different types of hospitals that you can gain volunteer and work experience. Also, over on the west side of campus, we have our athletic facilities. So if you follow Big Ten football, you'll know that our hospital is right next door to our football stadium. And then we have all of our other Big Ten athletic facilities on the west side of campus. So in general, it takes about 10 to 12 minutes to walk to anywhere on the same side of campus. So it looks pretty big just on a picture or when you're looking at a map. But once you get on campus, most students will walk everywhere. We do have a busing system on our campus, or if you choose to rent like a moped or something like that, you can get around that way too. I do get the question of, does it snow? And yes, it's very similar to Illinois weather. We're right next door to Illinois. So from Round Lake or the suburbs of Chicago, it's about a 3.5 to 4 hour drive. So not too far from home. Now, our academic programs, we have over 200 areas of study. We have 11 different colleges. So these 200 areas include majors, minors, certificate programs. If you're like really unsure of what you want to major in, this website is great because you can just click around, learn about the different majors and programs that we offer, and come in and as an open major. That's our undecided major on campus. If you're wanting to learn, okay, what are the differences at Iowa versus another school that I'm looking at, if you're considering like engineering or writing, this is also a great place to research, like, okay, what's so special about Iowa? What are the classes that I'll be taking? And then what are jobs that go along with those particular majors? So within our areas of study, the academic programs that we're known for nationally are within the health sciences, writing, performing arts, business, and engineering. Now, being a bigger school of just over 30,000 students and just under 5,000 first-year students, you're probably thinking, okay, all of my classes are going to be large classes, and that's really just not the case. So your first year at Iowa, you will have a combination of larger classes and smaller size courses too. So your larger lecture classes could range anywhere from 200 to 300 students. That'll meet about 2 days a week. But for that one class, you'll also meet in a smaller section of 30 students or fewer. And that's where you'll ask questions, turn in assignments, and take quizzes. Rhetoric and world language classes tend to be smaller, of about 15 to 20 students. But once you get into your major, that's where you'll see your classes on average will be about 30 students. Also, I will note that I'm working from home. And so if you hear any children in the background that are fighting, those are mine. Our overall student to teacher ratio is 15:1. And if you're following the academic rankings, we are ranked the 34th best public university by US News and World Report. Research is not required at Iowa, but 1 in 3 of our students participates in research. You don't have to wait till your junior and senior year to participate in research or volunteering. You can do that as soon as your first year on campus. And we actually encourage you to do more opportunities rather than a few, because you get to learn about like what your interests are, or you solidify what you're interested in, or you realize maybe you need to pivot and find a different academic area to focus in on, or a different research opportunity to focus in on. So there's a lot of learning that goes on through research experience or through research opportunities. Now, once you're on campus, we definitely want you to dive in right away and get involved, not to punish you, but just a way for you to meet other students who have a similar interest to you. We have over 500 clubs at the University of Iowa, and that is broken down into academic, social, religious, political groups on campus. If you want to major in pre-med and biology, and you want to get involved in the pre-medicus group, that's great. So that aligns with your academic area. But if you want to major in like history, but then also be part of like our intramural sports and go into like video gaming as your club that you get involved in, you can do that too. So we want you to still keep up with things that you're interested in, because that's going to help with your overall experience as a student, no matter where you go, but also specifically to Iowa. We also have a very strong performing arts campus, and Iowa City makes up the cultural district of Iowa City, or the downtown area, sorry, makes up the cultural district of Iowa City. So a lot of live performances happen there. And as I mentioned before, the jazz festivals that happen in the downtown area But if you're interested in theater, music, and dance, but you don't want to major in any of those areas, auditions and performances are still open to non-major students. So again, we would encourage you to get involved. If you're interested in engineering, about a third of our marching band are engineers. And so that just goes to show that you're not just held to one academic area or area of interest. We want you to expand beyond what you're interested in academically. And again, we are in the Division I and have 24 Division I athletic teams. Okay, so what happens when you leave the University of Iowa? Are we going to support you in finding a job? Are we going to help you find internships? After 4 years, typically, we do a survey after students graduate. 95% of our graduates receive jobs within 3 to 6 months of graduation. And the different colleges rank differently, but 95% overall is great. If you're looking for your specific major, I could definitely refer you to our career center because they can show you journalism students, the percentage of students who receive jobs versus history versus dance and all the specifics for your major. Okay, let's talk. We've been talking about all the great things that are Iowa, but I do want to wrap up and just show you how you can apply. So our requirements are pretty straightforward, but there are some additional things that we may need from you. On this website, you'll see the required high school core classes. So basically, we're looking for these for the different colleges that you're looking at. Core classes are classes within English, language arts, world language, social studies, science, and then math. In addition to all those classes that we require, we do use a formula called the Regent Admission Index Score, where we'll look at your core classes, your GPA, and then your ACT or SAT. ACT or SAT, we do not super score. We're just looking at your overall composite scores from one sitting. Your GPA, if you have a weighted GPA because you took AP and honors classes, you can use the higher, the weighted GPA, which is typically higher, but just use whichever is higher between the two. And then the total number of core classes you've completed. On this website, it will also have a calculator so you can just plug in all of your information. But as long as you have a 255 or higher, plus those high school courses completed, you'll know that you'll be admitted to the University of Iowa. So those are typically what our requirements are. We do recognize that there have been challenges for students taking the ACT or SAT. So for this year, for any student who's applying for fall 2021, you are not required to send in test scores. So if you are applying without a test score, you will be asked to submit a personal statement along with an unofficial transcript. So hopefully it's great that you know that ahead of time so you can be prepared to submit that once you've applied. Once you've submitted your application and we've received all the pieces of information that we need, it should take about 2 to 3 weeks to hear back from us. If you're interested in any other like academic areas or colleges, there are opportunities to be directly admitted into different colleges, such as the College of Business and Engineering and Public Health, and those specific requirements will also be listed on here. Now, college is expensive. When you apply, you're automatically considered for scholarships, but the breakdown of tuition and fees, we're looking at non-resident tuition and fees plus room and board. Like I said, when you apply, or I don't know if I said this, but when you apply, you're automatically considered for scholarships based on merit. So your GPA and test scores, if you have it. It will take us some time to review that because it is more of a holistic review as far as scholarships, but your scholarship amounts can range anywhere from $2,000 up to $12,000. Typically, we're seeing students who with a 3.6 GPA and around a 26 ACT or SAT equivalent be in the middle part of that scholarship, like receiving scholarships. But we also want to encourage you to apply for financial aid by submitting the FAFSA. And if you submit the FAFSA between October 1 and December 1, that's our priority filing date, and you'll hear back by mid-February on that with your award letter. Okay, so that's all I have. Feel free to enter any specific questions related to Iowa in the chat, and I'd be happy to answer those, and then I will just turn it back over to Mr. Bruno.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. We're going to go from Iowa a little bit further over to Colorado State University with my friend Tiffany.
Hi, friends. I'm Tiffany Dallas with the stunning Colorado State University. I had this up and I don't know what happened, but now it's no longer up. So give me 1 minute here. I'm going to share my screen. Here it is. And of course, you know, when people are watching you, it's always harder to get things done. But okay, so this has my contact information. If you have any questions, I'll put it in the chat too, following this presentation, of course. But a little bit about Colorado State. I can't talk about our stunning university and not talk about our location. So I'm in the mountains, obviously, today. I like to start off with this picture because this is an actual picture that I took with my iPhone. I'm not like a professional photographer. And it's actually ugly. Like if you were there, it was so much prettier. It was like the most beautiful moment my eyes have ever seen. So I got up and I wanted to watch the sunrise over the mountains. And I could lie and tell you that I hiked, which was my intention. But at 4:45 and snow on the ground, I was like, nah, I'm good. So I drove up there and I was able to watch the sunrise over the city of Fort Collins. So a little bit about our location to kick us off. So look, we're an hour north of Denver along the Front Range of the Colorado Rockies. Everything west of our campus is mountains, obviously. So the weather, and I love the weather in Fort Collins because it's actually warmer when you want it to be warmer and it's cooler when you want it to be cooler. So in the summer, there's no bugs, there's no humidity. I'm like super sweet. So the mosquitoes love me and there's no mosquitoes. So it's like you can go hiking at dusk and not be swamped by mosquitoes and have 10 gallons of bug spray on. But then in the winter, I think a lot of people assume that because there is snow on the ground that it's super frigid cold. When it was -50 and we had the polar vortex and we were all going to die if we were outside without 20, Columbia jackets on, it was 20 degrees on campus. So in my 6 years of working for Colorado State University, the coldest I've ever seen it in Fort Collins was actually 2 degrees. And that was like record breaking for them. They were beside themselves. So I just kind of want to break the mindset that it's going to be colder in Colorado for those students who don't like cold weather. And again, there's 300 days of sunshine. So like growing up actually in Mundelein, I thought it was normal to have like a gray sky, a gray ground, and then, because the snow and then a gray sky. But we, again, have 300 days of sunshine. So it's always bright and sunny. So a little bit about the city of Fort Collins, HP International, Otterbox, New Belgium Brewery, Walrus Ice Cream. So these are all international companies based in Fort Collins. We're actually the economic hub of Northern Colorado. The population is about 185,000. Walt Disney actually modeled Main Street, USA after downtown Fort Collins. So it's these wide cobblestone brick roads, old historic buildings, strung lights. There's there's 600 restaurants though. There's 50 art galleries. It's super eclectic, super vibrant. We were actually just ranked the #1 city to live in all of America last week. So, hey. So when you couple that with our academic standing, I, of course, think we're the perfect combination of the two. So we are a Carnegie One Research University. We funnel more than $400 million a year into our research expenditures annually. We are a public university. We're one of the 12 public schools. We are the land grant school for the state of Colorado. So we actually enroll more students from the state of Colorado than any other school in Colorado. We have about 32,000 total undergraduate students, but the numbers are tricky depending on where you're looking. Our on-campus undergraduate student involvement is about 28,500. We have 8 different colleges. So our 28,000 undergraduate students are divided into 8 different colleges across the university. We have 250 areas of study. 74 bachelor's degrees. Of course, we have master's as well as doctoral degrees as well. We have the mountain campus. So we sprawl about 8,500 acres total, but a lot of students they're like, well, that's really big. But the heart of campus is about 1 square mile. But we do have a mountain campus in the Colorado Rockies. It's a 1,200 acre mountain campus. It looks just like this. And then we also actually have a research plot in Mexico as well. So our largest majors on campus, students are like, what's your best major? Well, our largest majors on our campus, biology is actually our largest, followed by zoology, followed by psychology. We like the ologies. And then health and exercise science is our next largest major. Our most competitive major on our campus is biomedical sciences, anything in the College of Engineering, anything in the College of Business, and our journalism program, as well as computer science. So those majors are competitive. So when a student applies to the university, just because they're admitted to the university doesn't necessarily mean that they're admitted to those respective majors. After this, I will make sure to put my email in the chat box too. So if students have a one-off question, if you want to have a one-on-one conversation with me, you'll have access to my contact information. But then I think a lot of times students want to know, when they say, what's your best? They really want to know, like, what are most of the students from the Midwest coming to Colorado for? And so it's anything with animals. So we have the 3rd ranked vet school in the entire country. Super competitive. We get about 1,600 applications a year for our vet school, and they admit approximately 100 students. But so any sort of animal a student could possibly want to work with, whether you want to save the wolves of Yellowstone, the elephants in Africa. One of our professors just found a new species of frog in Ecuador. We just have tons of exciting research happening on our campus, in particular with animals. So we have zoology, we have fish and wildlife biology, we have the first bachelor's degree in equine science in the entire country, as well as animal science. So any one of those things, I always describe our students as they're very animal loving, very tree hugging, mountain climbing. That's just kind of the vibe of our students on our campus. And then to go along with the tree hugging, anything with sustainability. We are the first university in the entire world to obtain the STARS Platinum ranking for sustainability. We're the only university to do it twice. Every single class you take at CSU, whether it's apparel and merchandising, if it's business, if it's engineering, of course, if it's ecosystem science, you're going to learn about components of sustainability and how it impacts the global, all of us. So more than 1,000 different classes have components of sustainability built into it. So we are a Common App exclusive school. Our average GPA of an incoming student at CSU is a 3.69 weighted on a 4.0. Test scores are optional. I repeat, test scores are optional. So a student would be far better suited to apply. Our early action date's December 1st, so it's creeping up pretty quick. So a student would be far better to apply without test scores than to wait for test scores to come in, because at CSU it is optional. To give students an idea, our average range on the SAT is an 1100 to a 1300. The average range of the ACT is a 23 to a 29. We do super score. But again, for fall of 2021, I would just move on. I mean, if your scores come in that range, great. Fall of 2022, at this point, I really don't foresee our university requiring those test scores as a part of the admission process either, because the entire world is about 8 months behind at this point, including our poor juniors who haven't had the time to, do the test prep. So if you don't have a test score, don't worry about it. We are rolling. So from the time that we get all of your admissions materials, we'll have a decision posted in, like, I don't know, 3 to 5 weeks is what we say. Student life. I love our students at CSU. Our students are so cool. Some things that I wanted to highlight. We have education abroad in all 7 continents, more than 1,000 different locations. About 20%, excuse me, I'm so sorry. About 20% of our students participate with some form of education abroad, which is about 5,000 students a year, go abroad to anywhere all over the world. And then we are also the international host for Semester at Sea. So for those of you who watch Sweet Life on Deck, I'm too young or too old. My kids are too young, but apparently it's just like this. So you get on this massive cruise boat, you sail the world. The students port in 4 continents, 15 cities, 13 countries in the course, 15 cities, 13 countries in the course of 1 semester. It is an unparalleled opportunity to see the world. So it's 575 students from all over the world. Any student to any university can go, but it's a huge advantage to our students, of course, because we're the host institution. So we offer more than 75 directly transferable courses on the ship that will come right back into your 4-year degree completion plan at CSU. I'm so sorry. We have one of the top 15 rec centers in the entire country. So at the time this thing was built, it was ranked 15th, but it has a lazy river. There's a 35-person hot tub. There's 4 climbing walls that it's actually that glass right there. It's been featured in climbing magazines, and they actually move the pegs on the wall to mimic how the rocks fall in the mountains. So that's a fun trivia fact. We have the Richardson Design Center. So in our Richardson Design Center, it's open to any student. You don't have to be an art student to use this, but this is a brand new building. It was built this past February. And so the ground floor actually has $1 million of equipment for any student to utilize. So there's like a $50,000 embroidery machine. There's crazy silk screen machines. There's woodworking, there's welding, there's glass etching. And it's really just a maker space to help the creative outlets for our students across all disciplines come together and to create projects. So it's free for our students to use. Of course, they do have to be trained in the equipment they're using. It's not cheap, of course. So we are a D1 university. We have 16 intercollegiate sports at CSU. I would say for women's teams, our largest following is the soccer team and the volleyball team. Those have both been in the top 25 for the last 10 years. So I love CSU because it's not just about our male athletes, but then also our football team, of course. So we just built a $250 million football stadium 3 years ago, 4, I don't know, recently. So it seats 40,000, and it's just a really cool facility for our students to all come and, show their school spirit together. That really handsome guy in the middle is our mascot, Cam. So we were founded 150 years ago as Colorado Agriculture and Mechanical, and that's our cute little ram, Cam the Ram. So we have a marching band, we have a president's band, we have a jazz band, there's 20 different choirs, there's 500 student organizations. So every academic major has at least one professional student organization affiliated with it. If not, the College of Business has 50. So it's really important when you guys are looking for, for your respective institutions of where you want to go, that you do get involved with academics. Of course, that's what you're going to college for. But then to find the things that drive you personally, socially, athletically. So we have 30 sports clubs as well. Some of our sports clubs are super competitive. So like our climbing team, our baseball team and men's lacrosse have actually been their #1 teams in the entire country. So it's super competitive. You travel all over the country. You have Colorado State written across your chest. So you are there representing our university, but there's just not scholarships available for it. Of course, we have intramural sports for people like me. You just want to meet other people and have fun, get involved. So we have 9 different student diversity programs and services on campus. So for example, we have a Pride Resource Center. We have an African American Resource Center. So at a university, we're not petite. The key to finding your success is to find your community within the larger community. And I feel like CSU does a phenomenal job of providing students opportunities to connect with each other, to connect with faculty and staff, and to really apply and have that experiential learning for life after their undergraduate degree. So that's CSU in synopsis. I will put my email in the chat. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Tiffany. Now let's move a little bit closer to home. Let's move to Ripon College with Hannah.
It helps to unmute yourself. Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm really excited to chat with you all tonight. We're going to be taking a deep dive into the small side of colleges and universities on this call tonight. I do believe we are the smallest school on the call. We are located in Ripon, Wisconsin, which is about a 2-hour and 15-minute drive from Round Lake High School. We are a campus of 800 students total. 800 students total. We are 100% undergraduate. That means we have no master's programs, no PhD programs. So the faculty attention to our students is solely on ensuring that you have a wonderful undergraduate experience and get all of the things that you need to be prepared for your next steps, wherever those take you from Ripon. In terms of like a breakdown of states, a large majority of our students come from Wisconsin, but Illinois students are the largest state following our students in Wisconsin. So I do work really closely with all of our Illinois families, and I love it when we get you up on campus. In terms of what it means to be a school like Ripon, we are a residential campus. So that means 91% of our students live on campus all 4 years. We believe you learn just as much outside of the classroom as you do inside of the classroom. So your experiences in research, athletics, music ensembles, student organizations, all that contributes to your success after college. And so by having all of our students on campus, it allows you to always continually be learning and discovering new things about yourself. We are a Division III school. We participate in the Midwest Conference with schools in Illinois, Iowa, Wisconsin, and Minnesota for some of our athletics. 40% of our students are at least a one-sport varsity athlete, which means you are able to continue your passion for athletics while being a well-rounded student at that. The one thing that's going to set Ripon apart from schools of our size and competition is how we view our approach to general education requirement. We wholeheartedly believe in the liberal arts and sciences. We are a liberal arts school, but we go about how we infuse liberal arts in an entirely different fashion. we want you to be able to dive in and take those classes in your areas of study, but we also want you to be prepared for the 21st century world and understanding that sometimes the transferable skills that you bring with you are more important than the major that you have, because as we go through life, you might have multiple careers. And so as you go through having those skills in written and oral communication, quantitative reasoning, critical thinking, problem solving, i.e. a global pandemic, and how do we survive and adapt to our new environments, all of those things are really important, and we address that through our Catalyst curriculum. So for our students, the only 5 required classes that they will take throughout their time with us at Ripon are in our Catalyst curriculum. You take them one at a time, so you are able to dive right into your areas of study or explore if you don't know what you want to do. Almost 50% of our students at Ripon come in undecided or multi-interested, as we like to call those students. So you are able to explore and really think about what you want to do. You're able to combine really interesting combinations of things like studio art and exercise science, or biology and philosophy, because you have the time and space in your schedule to do so. With Catalyst and the 5 classes you take, because you have that, you have about 50% of your classes that are left as free credits. You get to design what your college experience is going to look like. It's less of us telling you what you need to do and more of you exploring internships and research projects and double majors and study abroad programs and different things like that. So it allows you to be career ready, because these are the skills that colleges and universities hear from employers that they would like their recent graduates to have, but it allows you to tell us more what you're looking to do versus us telling you what to do. For the application process at Ripon, we try to eliminate as many barriers as possible. All that we require is a completed application, which you can find on our website, or the common application and a high school transcript. Ripon is test optional. We have been test optional for a number of years now. If you do not have your test scores, please do not feel that you need to wait until you have them. That is optional. We're a rolling admissions school, so we have been reviewing applications since September. For students who are submitting applications now, you'll have a decision within 2 weeks of receiving a completed application file in our office. Anything like personal statements, letter of recommendations, as all optional materials. This year has been stressful enough. We are confident in our ability to make great decisions for students who fit Ripon with just your application and your high school transcript. A lot of times students are concerned about how we're going to go about and afford college and what that looks like. We take college affordability really seriously at Ripon. Any student who's admitted qualifies for a merit scholarship, which will range from $20,000 to $36,000 per year. That is renewable. We also have additional scholarships in with Boys State, Girls State, Diversity, Legacy, ROTC, and then additional continuing scholarships as students work throughout their way. We serve a population of almost 45% first generation college students. So we know that navigating the financial aid process is usually a really big hurdle for us to work through with our families. And so we are there to support that and work through that with us and then our student support services office on campus. We'll go on. So you might wonder why you would consider a school the size of Ripon, which I know is smaller than your high school. A couple of things that we believe make Ripon a really good fit for students for a change of pace from their high schools is we have a 4-year graduation guarantee. As long as you declare a major by the end of your sophomore year, you take about 15 credits a semester, and you are doing all of the things right, you will graduate in 8 semesters. And if there is something on our end that prevents you from taking classes in the correct sequence, we will forgive your tuition for that 9th semester. Catalyst allows you flexibility and freedom. We are here to cheer on everything that you are going to be doing. We want you to enjoy anything from our 50 plus student organizations, our athletics and musical ensembles and things like that. At a school like Ripon, you're not held to just being one thing or one part of yourself. Students really get to explore your whole self and develop new passions, continuing old hobbies, and set you up for success for the next stage of your life. We are a direct entry, which means that any major in our 40 plus major programs on campus, you can start taking classes as soon as you step on campus. There's going to be nothing that will stop you from starting your biology major or psychology or physics. And then you get in there, and if you're like, maybe this wasn't for me, you haven't wasted any time waiting until you get further along in your career. And then affordability as well. Ripon is really a community with that residential component. We feel that these students have a home away from home. Most of our students choose to stay on campus over the weekends because they want to be with their friends, they want to be in their activities, they want to be doing all of that. And then the last reason that I think you should be selecting a school like Ripon is our placement rate. We have a 98% placement rate for students within 3 to 6 months of graduation in graduate schools or workforce. So you will get the one-on-one attention that you need in understanding how to go throughout your education, and then be prepared for that next step wherever that path may lead you from Ripon. And we do have the top, our graduates are the top degree earning or top earning students according to the Department of Education scorecard. So you are getting into jobs that are giving you all of the things that you hoped you could get after achieving your college degree with us at Ripon. That is, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Next up, Rosa, I think I see you. I think it's working. Yes. Awesome. Thanks, Rosa. The floor is yours.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much. Hello, everyone. My name is Rosa Varela. I'm the Assistant Director of Admission at Dominican University. So thank you all for taking the time to meet with us. I am going to share my screen here, so bear with me. All right. So hopefully you can see my screen. Oh, there we go. All right. So again, I work for Dominican University. We are a private Catholic university in River Forest, Illinois, just about 10 miles west of downtown Chicago. Our average class size is only 16 students in a class. Our student to faculty ratio is 10 students to 1 professor. And actually, we don't have any teaching assistants. We don't have any lecture halls. So students really have the opportunity to really get to know your professors, get to know your peers, and build those relationships that are going to be helpful for you as a student if you're looking potentially for maybe a letter of recommendation or internship opportunities or jobs. Again, that's something that we really pride ourselves on in having those small class sizes. We also have 14 accelerated degree programs. So that means that if you're looking to get that master's, you definitely can. So a student can come to Dominican and in 5 years graduate with a bachelor's and a master's degree in certain academic majors. We also have over 50 majors at Dominican. Now here you'll see some of our most popular majors. Nursing is a direct entry nursing program. We actually have our own School of Nursing on campus. Psychology would be another one, biology, engineering, bio and chemistry, computer science, business, criminology, education, fashion, and so forth. So I would encourage you to go on our website so you will be able to see a list of all of our other majors. So that's a little bit about who we are as an institution and the many services that we provide for our students. We actually have over 16 study abroad programs. Obviously, with COVID-19, that's not happening now, but know that that is a possibility for all of our students. And then the scholarships, the need-based aid that students receive on campus helps cover the cost of studying abroad. We also have over 100 plus community-based learning projects. So we want to make sure that not only are you a student at Dominican and joining different clubs, going to class, but we want to make sure that you're out in the community and help others that are in need. We also have over 100 student professor research collaborations. So you don't have to be an upperclassman to do research. As an undergraduate, you can do research with a professor, independent research, or even research with a peer. And then 93% of our students complete internship or high impact learning experiences outside of the class. So just to give you an example, these are a few of the places where our interns are obtaining internships. There's various companies and organizations, as you can see from here, from the Field Museum to Rush Oak Park Hospital to the Chicago Blackhawks. And every student at Dominican has the opportunity to obtain these internships. Now, if you are considering applying to Dominican, which I hope you do, these are some of the things that we're looking for. You can apply via the Common App, or you can go on our website and apply. We will also request a personal statement and then your official high school transcripts. This year, we're test optional, so we do not require the ACT or SAT. Also, our admission application is free and we do not have a deadline. So the sooner the better. This is our student profile for the 2020-2021 academic year. As I mentioned, we are a small university, so the total number of students is a little under 3,000 students. 33% of our students graduate in the top quartile of their high school classes. And then 69% of our students are students of color. So Dominican University is a very diverse university. 37% of our students are first generation students. And then the average high school GPA this year was about a 3.72 GPA. Now, this talks a little bit about our rankings in terms of the US News and World Report. So we are ranked number 10 out of 160 universities for best regional universities in the Midwest. We're number 1 in terms of social mobility in Illinois, number 1 for best value in the Chicagoland area, and number 11 for best undergraduate in teaching. There's many scholarships that Dominican offers for all of our students. One of them is the Merit Scholarship. These scholarships vary from $10,000 up to $20,000. They are based on merit. We also have the Residence Life Award Scholarship, and this scholarship is for students that are going to live on campus. We have the Success Scholarship for students that are part of a college enrichment program for $2,500. So this scholarship is for students that are part of TRIO or any other college enrichment program. And then the Legacy and Family Allowance. So all of these scholarships are also renewable. And these are competitive scholarships. So these scholarships, you do have to apply for them separately. They all have different deadlines. They require a different GPA, and they're based on different majors. I would advise go to our website and look at all of the requirements that we are looking for each specific scholarship. They also range from $500 up to $10,000. Now, we do provide additional aid for those students that are not eligible to complete the FAFSA. One of the applications that I encourage students to complete will be the alternative application for Illinois financial aid. We are also a partner school with the Dream US Scholarship, and I am happy to meet and talk to any student that has some questions about this. I can also refer you to other specific scholarships that I would recommend you apply for. Now, these are ways on how you can visit us. Again, we're not too far away from Round Lake, maybe an hour or so. We have tours every day, Monday through Friday. And then we also have some selective Saturdays where we do host tours. And this Saturday, we have a virtual Discover Dominican, which is an open house. So you can go on our website and register for that. Finally, this is my contact information. I am more than happy to answer any questions or hopefully see you on campus. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Rosa. And then rounding us out is Jake from Loyola. Gonna tell us all about Loyola.
Woo! All right, everyone. We did it. We made it towards the end. Thank you all so much for joining us and keeping with us. My name is Jake. I'm one of the senior admission counselors with Loyola University Chicago. I've been at Loyola now for 5 years as an admission counselor. And before that, I was a student at Loyola where I studied both secondary education and history. So I've been at Loyola now for 9 years. So of all my seniors out there, I've been at Loyola since you've been 8 or 9 years old, which makes me want to vomit. But at this point, there's not been any questions that have not already been asked by students. So any questions you have, please feel free to reach out to me. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just share my screen. I just want to share 2 quick slides with you, just give you the general overview of Loyola. First off, we do have around 17,000 students on our campus, 12,000 of which are our undergraduates. Now, this makes us the largest Catholic Jesuit university in the United States. We are Chicago's Catholic Jesuit University. And with our student population, we're about a medium-sized university, which gives us around a 14-to-1 student-teacher ratio and an average class size around 26 students per class. So if anything, it's going to be very similar to what you have in your high schools. We have over 80 different majors at the university, spanning all different colleges and schools. Most popular majors are our biology and like chemistry programs because we're very well known for pre-med. We have our own medical school. We have the best business program in all of Chicago. We just started a brand new health science and public health school, the Parkinson Health Science and Public Health School, that just opened up last year. And then we also opened this year, about a month ago, the School of Environmental Sustainability. And we're the first Jesuit and the first Chicago environmental sustainability school in the country. Now, we do have over 670 different employers who have hired Loyola students for internships in the past. And last year alone, over 100,000 hours were spent by Loyola students in intern programs. We have an amazing career development center they'll be looking to and apply for these different internships. But they also have to build your resume. They do mock interviews with you. They even go on business dinners with you. So when you find that internship that you're most excited about, you're gonna be as prepared as possible to hopefully get that internship. That's not just for our current students either. It's also for our alum. The very first thing I did after I graduated was to send my resume to the Career Development Center. I emailed them. I was like, hey, can you take a look at this? Is it okay? They emailed me back and I'm just like, no, this is really bad. And I gave me a bunch of different ways to make my resume better. I made the revisions. They approved it. I sent it to the admissions office. Now here I am 5 years later with this fancy tie on talking to you all over Zoom. So it's a great resource for you both as a current student and as an alum. Now, we are located in the city of Chicago. We have 2 campuses in the city. We have our Lakeshore campus, which is what you see on our top picture. This is the most northern neighborhood of the city of Chicago. So it grants us the luxury of having space on campus. So if anything, you almost have like almost a state school type feel while still being on this campus. In addition to that, we also have a campus downtown called the Water Tower campus, literally in the heart of downtown Chicago. So all those big companies and industries that call Chicago home are our neighbors. So it becomes even easier for you to find those internships. We are ranked 49th in the country nationally for undergraduate teaching, which we're very proud of. 93% of our professors have the highest degree in their field. There are 7% are working towards that degree or are professionals in the field. And we actually have over 150 different study abroad programs. You know, we want you to study abroad. In fact, about a third of our students will choose to study for a semester somewhere else. We send students all across the world. I have friends who studied in Japan, Korea, Russia, Nepal, Morocco, Ghana, England, France, Chile, Argentina, Brazil. Pretty much anywhere you want to go, we can send you there. Now, we don't have any programs in Antarctica just yet, but I'll do you one better. Come January and February in a real Chicago winter, just walk across our Lakeshore path, and it's just like you're there. And when you mix all this together, the fact that you're going to be taught by amazing professors, the fact that you're in the city of Chicago where internships are rampant, the fact that we have staff who are there to help you find those different internships, we do very well for our students trying to find jobs after graduation. In fact, 98% of our students either have a job or being in graduate school within 3 months of graduating, which is something we're really proud of. And as others had mentioned, you know, we all talk about how great it is to our academics are, or like finding jobs after graduation, but really what separates Loyola is our student life. You know, I'm a proud alum of the university, and I call this place my home because of what it was able to do for me as a student. We have over 250 different clubs and activities on campus, ranging anywhere from club and intramural sports to Greek life, to hobby groups, to major specific groups like political or religious groups. Pretty much any club you want to be a part of, we're going to have for you. We also have all sorts of different events on campus, including bringing in big name public speakers like Barack Obama and the Dalai Lama to give speeches. And then we have D1 athletics. We are D1 in the Missouri Valley Conference. We have both men and women's volleyball, basketball, soccer, cross country, track and field, golf, and women's softball. Our men's volleyball team actually won the 2014 and 2015 national championship in volleyball, which was amazing. And then in 2018, you might have heard, we made it to the Final Four for men's basketball. Sister Jean is now 101 years old, and she is still kicking, and she's still the greatest thing on the face of the planet. And all these different things kind of culminate into what your student experience is going to be. And again, personally, this place became my home because of the student life I experienced at Loyola. Now, as far as our actual application goes, we are online on our website at luc.edu/apply. We are also on the Common App, and we are working to get on the Coalition app sometime later this year. So pretty much any way you want to apply to Loyola, you're going to be able to do so. Best part about it is we are 100% free. There's no application fee associated with a Loyola degree. Now, the only materials you need to actually send in to us are your official application, as well as your official high school transcripts. And we do look for an upward trend in grades. So if you had a rough freshman year or got a blip sophomore year, as long as we see an upward trend, that's a really good start for us. And we also look at grades on the weighted scale, because we recognize that some classes are just really hard. So if you get like a B in AP Calculus, that's a really strong grade. If you get a B in lunch, we need to talk. And in addition to that, we need at least one teacher or counselor recommendation letter. This recommendation can come from a teacher or a counselor, but if you have like a job or a volunteer somewhere and you want them to write your recommendation, that's totally fine as well, as long as we do see one from someone who's seen you in an academic setting. We also give you the options of sending in 3 additional materials, first of which are your test scores. We recognize that with everything that happened this past spring, many of you seniors were not able to take an ACT or SAT. So we've decided to go test optional for the first time. So if you weren't able to take a test or you weren't happy with your scores, you can list yourself as test optional. You're not going to be negatively impacted because of something that was completely out of your control. So you're still going to be reviewed for both admission and for potential scholarship. If you do have test scores, send them in to us. We will super score, meaning we'll take the best of each subcategory to give you the best overall score. In addition to that, you're able to send in a resume. This resume is just a single page bullet point resume, just kind of showcasing who you are outside the classroom. So again, that's where you put that job or volunteer experience. And then we also allow you to send in an essay. And this essay can be about anything you want to write about, be that why you want to attend Loyola, a Common App essay, an excerpt from high school writing, about how to tie your shoes in 10 easy steps. If you think it's going to make you a stronger candidate for the mission, write about it. The best essay I ever read was about how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So literally anything goes. Now, our priority deadline is coming up. It's coming up on December 1st. So if you get everything into us by December 1st, you'll be guaranteed a review for both admission and for potential scholarships. We do offer merit-based scholarships. These are mostly going to be based off your academic achievements in high school. And they're going to range anywhere from $17,000 to $25,000 each year. There's not any additional application to apply for these scholarships. If you get admitted to Loyola, we'll say in your acceptance letter if you receive an award and how much the award is worth. And as you can see, 98% of our students do not pay full price to attend Loyola. And we're always listed as one of the best value schools in the entire country. I absolutely love Loyola. I would not have spent 4 years as a student at Loyola if I did not love it. I would not spend the next 5 years of my life telling other people to come to Loyola if I did not love it. And I would not have started a graduate program at Loyola if I did not love this place. So if you do have any questions, I will put my information in the chat for any of you to reach out to me. I always love answering questions from students. And then just like Rosa, we do have our own open house coming up this Saturday as well. This is going to be our virtual open house. We're going to have everything from pre-med presentations and financial aid and study abroad presentations to the ability to talk to some current students, as well as a virtual department fair. We're actually able to talk to professors in different majors you're interested in. So thank you all so much. And Mr. Bruno, I think we're ready for a panel.
All right, perfect. Yes, if everybody wants to pop back in, that'd be great. And then we can all talk about, let's get to some questions real quick. Let's do gallery view. Perfect. Now we can see everybody. So I just have a few questions I want to get to. I think that most of you have done a really good job answering the question about campus tours, and I know some of you are quite a distance away. So, but if we can just do kind of a roundup real quick. Jake just answered the how they're doing the campus tours. So, Courtney, do you want to start real fast? How can students see Augustana right now, or maybe over like Thanksgiving break when it's really cold outside? How can they see Augustana?
Sure, we have in-person visits, socially and physically distanced and masked, of course, but students are able to schedule an individual visit to campus. They'll have a tour by a student tour guide, and then have an opportunity to meet individually with an admissions counselor. And obviously we have lots of virtual options as well.
Okay, awesome. How about Annabelle? Do you want to tell us about Iowa?
Sure, same for us. We have Zoom tours. So if you feel more comfortable going the Zoom route, we're there for you. But also we have in-person tours. They are offered at different times throughout the day because we have to keep the groups really small. So if you want to get in on one of those, you probably have to schedule pretty soon here. And just keep it, yeah. So I would say the website has the most up-to-date, but we're offering both.
Okay, perfect. Hannah, how about at Ripon?
Yeah, we're offering multiple different options. So we have both a live Zoom tour with a current student. We have virtual admission appointments. So if they want to talk one-on-one with a counselor about applications, financial aid, that route. And then we have on-campus, in-person tours. They're significantly limited. We're only allowing one family per tour, but we have them scheduled out right now through January.
Okay, perfect. Megan at Elmhurstu, what are you guys doing?
Yes, so we had been doing in-person visits and in-person tours up until basically tomorrow's our last day. At least we're taking a little bit of a break from the in-person piece just to keep everyone safe. But we do have a ton of different virtual opportunities. We have various webinar series specifically for first generation college students. We have one for student athletes, one's the EU exclusive. So there's lots of different webinars that we're hosting. And then you can also connect virtually with an admission counselor and take advantage of our virtual tour as well. So hopefully soon we'll be able to offer those in-person opportunities, but right now we'll be offering a lot of great virtual opportunities. So be sure to tune in for those.
Perfect. And Rosa, I know you just talked about it, but briefly again, do you want to talk about Dominican?
Sure. So we are doing also a combination of both, obviously with the new restrictions now that are happening. I'm sure things are going to change. We have a virtual open house this Saturday. We host daily tours, again, twice during the day. And that's typically only a student and a guest. And also we are doing virtual Zoom meetings as well with an admission counselor. So it's a combination of both.
Perfect. And I know if you're still on this video watching on YouTube, Tiffany is not here. She did have to pop off, but you can always go on Colorado State's website. Colorado State has a ton of videos, and you can do Zoom webinars. You can also do college tours virtually. It's a little bit easier than traveling all the way to Colorado in the middle of all of this. So I have two more questions, and then we can wrap up. One of them is more of a serious question, and then I'll wrap up with the fun question. So the more serious question is, a lot of students ask about what kind of supports do students have during their freshman year at your school. So if I'm a freshman and I've come from being like the big dog on campus as a senior to now being a freshman all over again, what kind of supports do I have being even, Ripon's pretty close. Augustana is not super far away. Nobody's really that far away on this chat. Even Iowa is only a few hours away. I could get home if I needed, to see mom or dad or to see my best friend. But if I needed, a resource on campus, what kind of resources do you have for freshmen at your school? Let's start with Elmhurstu and we'll work our way down again in that order.
Okay, great. Thank you. That's a really great question. Just as students are figuring out that next step and knowing what support they have. At Elmhurstu, we have a really robust kind of first step in terms of our orientation program. And students are matched with a group of students that is their first year seminar. Within that first year seminar, there will be a faculty leading the course, as well as a college life coach. So you always have kind of your go-to person. For example, I am a college life coach for an Exploring Chicago course for first-year students. So I meet actually monthly, if not multiple times throughout the month, with each of the students in my class to check in and kind of see if they have questions about things or need some extra advice in different areas. So I'm one of those resources for the 15 students that I have in the class, but each first year student basically will have a college life coach throughout their kind of full time on campus that they'll be able to utilize as a mentor. And we even also have kind of a pre-orientation program for our first generation college students too. So if you want kind of an extra step to get connected to campus, you can also take advantage of an EC or EU connection program where students can take advantage of that. So you'll really be well supported. And then there's a ton of different resources within our wellness center for those counseling pieces and other kind of external supports. But that college life coach is really an important person that you'll be able to connect with on campus.
Perfect, thank you. And then Courtney, how about at Augustana College?
Yeah, I don't want to totally repeat what Megan said. I think that you'll find that a lot of small schools have similar resources, but I'll also mention that colleges do a great job of also providing professional counseling opportunities for students. We know what students are going through right now, not just in high school, but also in college. And so whether that's in-person counseling appointments, whether it's virtual options, whether it's getting tutoring help at a help center. So colleges really have put a lot of resources into making sure that students have a good experience and are able to feel like they can get the help they need.
Awesome, thank you. Annabelle, anything to add?
Sure, I'll just give the perspective from a larger school. So it can be intimidating to just dive into a school with just over 30,000 students. Since I've been a student at Iowa, we've implemented an On Iowa program, which is a student immersion program where all first-year students will move on to campus before classes begin. So it's a way for you to meet in smaller groups. You can walk around on campus to check out where your classes are located. They teach you the fight song, so there are fun aspects to it too, but just understanding the technology on campus. So you're going to be asked to take exams or submit things online. And if you've not been a student at Iowa, you're not going to really know how to use those resources. So they walk students through that process too. Also just navigating like what are you interested in and how to get involved. So that's part of the piece of easing that transition to a campus that you've never been on, really, is just getting involved. We also do something through our Office of Academic Support and Retention. We do a survey throughout the first semester and even the first year to see how students are feeling. How are they getting acclimated to campus? How are they doing in their classes? What's missing? Are they homesick? Are they seeking out counseling services? Are they what kind of additional support do they need on campus? And then we'll also connect them with somebody more of like a mentor on campus to help guide them through those challenges that they might be experiencing.
Awesome, thank you. Hannah, do you have anything to add about Ripon?
It's very similar to Elmhurst and Augustana. Each one of our students does have a sit-down one-on-one meeting with someone in our student life division within the first couple of weeks of class to ensure that they're making a smooth transition and then helping offer support in that way. And then one thing that has been really helpful for our students is we take a really proactive approach to tutoring at Ripon. All of our tutoring services are free. So that includes contracted tutoring, which is a one-on-one opportunity, drop-in hours, and all of that stuff. So it helps set students up to be successful right from the get-go. About 90% of our tutoring contracts are signed within the first 2 weeks of class. So it helps reinforce good academic practice to make that transition from high school to college.
Awesome. Rosa, how about you?
Yeah, again, it's about the same as everybody saying. I would also say that at Dominican, we also have peer advisors. So they have an upperclassman that's kind of helping them through the process, making sure that, they're getting acclimated to college life. So that seems to really work. And that's something that students really appreciate, just to be able to know an upperclassman, and, they've already gone through this process, so they are able to relate, as opposed to maybe an academic advisor or a professor that's kind of maybe older and not, able to relate so much. So that's something that has been successful at Dominican.
Yeah. Jake, how about at a large scale private school? What about Lula?
Yeah, so I think the benefit of being a medium-sized university is that we're able to have a little bit of both.
Yeah.
The types of transition. So we have what's called University 101, which is a class to make all freshmen take their first semester here. It's taught by one of our campus partners. That could be someone who works in experiential learning or first year experience or academic advising. And then there's also a peer advisor in that class as well, to kind of show you, like, I've been through it myself. We can get through it together. One of the funnest things about that class is that we actually have something called the Chicago Project, where you and a couple of your classmates actually have to go to a different Chicago neighborhood, go somewhere fun to eat, go somewhere fun to go do something, and then report back on it to the rest of the class. So you not only learn how to get around Chicago, but you have new ways to kind of explore the city. We have academic advisors, just like everyone else, to kind of help you set up the foundation for whatever major you want to take part in. And then the two biggest things I'll mention is we have welcome week. So our freshmen come before classes start as well. We do a full week full of activities, including like a hypnotist or like a stand-up comedian, just kind of meet new freshmen on campus. And then for our first generation students, we actually have a program called ACE, which stands for Achieving College Excellence. It's mentoring / support group / programming. So you're not going to fall to the wayside at Loyola. We're going to make sure that you transition just like all my other peers here.
Awesome. It's also important for our students to know that if you are planning on living on campus at any of the schools that are here, all the floors will have resident assistants on the floor. So you're going to have a team member that has been trained really, really well, that represents the school you're at, that you can go to. That's going to be there for you. And they're pretty much going to be in the same age range that you are. So they're representing the school and they're there to support you. So you'll have support pretty much all the time at campus, if not all the time. So you are in good hands. You just have to know how to go out and ask for a little bit of help. Okay, and so here's the fun question. We're going to go backwards. So Jake, you're going to start. You told us actually in your presentation a few of like the big names that have been to Loyola over the years, but can you give me one or two like really cool like people that have been to school or cool events that like you loved? Maybe not like the school specifically, like, but like you or Jake himself were like, these are so amazing. Like I know when I went to UIC, we had some amazing like events, but I love the Killers. So getting to see the Killers for free, like, was one of the coolest. I mean, I just love concerts in general, but it was just so cool being able to like see one of my favorite bands like at 2 minutes from my dorm room. And at Loyola, I mean at Iowa, I went to Iowa my freshman year. At Iowa, like you could see concerts for like $2. Like it's crazy. Like the older you get, how expensive things are. But in college, you get to see some really cool concerts and some really cool events for cheap. So talk about your school. Give me one or two really cool events that have taken place that you want our students to know about.
You know, I've already mentioned Sister Jean, but I'm going to mention her again because how can you not?
Yes.
She turned 100 in 2019, and we threw her a huge birthday party. The Lego store in Chicago actually made like a 3-foot tall Sister Jean Lego statue, and that's now being displayed on our campus. So like Sister Jean's the perfect embodiment of what Loyola stands for. She's the chaplain of the basketball team. She actually gave a scouting report to Porter Moser, our coach, when he took the job, which of course she did. But then when I was a student, my absolute favorite memory was when Nick Offerman, who played Ron Swanson in Parks and Rec, came and did stand-up on campus. And, you know, he made me want to be a better person after his stand-up routine. So just a few fun
amazing.
Names.
If you don't know Sister Jean, I recommend Googling. It's an incredible story. It's one of those things you just have to know about.
I got a Sister Jean autographed bobblehead, and that's the best. It's my most prized possession.
I mean, it's one of those things that everybody should know about. So thank you. Rosa, tell me some cool things about Dominican, one or two cool events.
Actually, I just walking through the halls the other day, I saw a poster of a drag show on campus that's put on by our students. And I will tell you that that's the most popular show the entire year that all of our students put on. I personally have not been able to take advantage of checking the show out, but I hear a lot of great reviews from the students, so that's one that's pretty it seems pretty popular. But we also purchase different tickets from the Chicago Bulls to baseball to the Blackhawks, and purchase those tickets and then sell those tickets to students at a much lower cost, and those students really seem to like that. Actually, last year a lot of students went to go see Hamilton for like $22 or something like that, which I thought that was cool, being that the tickets were pretty expensive. So
Yeah, you cannot beat $22 tickets to Hamilton. All right, Hannah, how about you? What's some cool things at Ripon?
Okay, well, I am also a Ripon alum. So in the vein of concert, I saw Bowling for Soup for free, which is going to age me pretty.
You're talking like Stacy's mom, Bowling
Yeah.
for Soup? Okay.
Yes. That was the concert my freshman year, which was really cool. But I will say one of my personal favorite events, and I think across the board on campus, is the community potluck. The first Wednesday of classes, all of the local churches in the community cook a potluck for the students. Dinner starts at 5. The line starts at 4 p.m. And if you are not there at 4 p.m., you don't have any option when you get in the door. It's a way for the churches to like meet the new students, like that is the design, but really it's the food. Because what college kid doesn't love free food and home cooked food by the church ladies? Come on. And then we have our downtown is like literally a block off campus. So there are some really cool Ripon alum owned building or restaurants, and then $5 movies, because we have the original Marcus movie theater and the Marcus chain. So it's always $5 movies.
Okay.
And like all the big names, like all of the Marvel movies and all that stuff. So that's a popular student one.
Awesome. Thank you. Annabelle, what you got for me?
As far as performers in recent years, back into like our homecoming of 2018, so like 2 years ago, we had somebody called Lizzo. I don't know if you've heard of her, but she performed at Iowa, and I think went off to do great things. So that's something to look forward to, performers at that caliber. But then also like a fun tradition that we have on campus, if you follow athletics, so our football stadium is right next to our children's hospital. And at the end of the first quarter, everybody in the football stadium, including the players, refs, fans, opposing team, will look up at the children, because they can go to the very top level and watch the game from the top. So everybody in the stadium will look up at the kids and wave. That caught national attention. So it is one of our favorite traditions, and it gives me goosebumps like every time I talk about it. But that just speaks to the community and the people of Iowa. Like everyone's just super friendly, and everyone's there to be a part of like a greater community.
Yeah. And if you don't know anything about Iowa football, don't make plans on Saturday during any football season, because that is the whole Saturday, every Saturday. Let me tell you, you get cheap football tickets to the football games, and it is a fun day. Courtney, what about Augustana? You know there's fun things going on in Augustana.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of like musical concerts on campus during the year, except for in the springtime, something called Slew Fest, which is put on by our Office of Student Life. And they often get one or two of the side acts from Lala to come, which is like really, really fun. But during the school year, like during the rest of the year, we are about a mile away from the Tax Slayer Center, which is kind of like the all-state arena here in Chicagoland. And so students who want to hear, their favorite comedian or performer have opportunities to go. And it is a little bit lower cost because it's not in the Chicagoland, which is nice. But that's what I would share.
Awesome. Thank you. And Megan, you are literally a 10-minute L ride from the city. So all the things, but what about at Elmhurstu?
Yeah, awesome. So as I mentioned when I was talking through, when I was a student, we had like the band fund, and there's lots of different components, but our jazz band is incredible on campus. So our own individual student performers are incredible to come see, whether that be on campus or we have traditional events around the holiday time for our choirs, for lessons and carols. So our own student body is a kind of a great way to have some entertainment. One good, more recent fun fact that I did learn about campus in terms of like speakers and different people coming on campus. Michael Jordan did have a basketball camp on our campus once upon a time. And he did stay in one of our residence halls while he was hosting the basketball camp. And more recently, we had like Portillo speak on campus, Bill Nye the Science Guys come to campus. So we'll host a lot of different fun speakers depending on kind of what's happening and who we want to bring to campus.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Thank everybody for your time. If you are watching this later on YouTube, please make sure you are reaching out to the college reps. They are here for you. They have given up their time to be on this call. They are always available. Well, not always. Don't text them at 2 o'clock in the morning, although their phones are on. Please do not text them at 2 o'clock in the morning. But send an email if you have any questions. They love responding to emails. Ask questions. This is a little bit more difficult of a year to get through the application process. Everybody understands that as college career counselors, as our college representatives, but we also want you to continue the application process. So if you come across a few stumbling blocks on the way, reach out to me as your college and career counselor, but you can also reach out to the actual college representatives themselves. So thank you all for your time. I very, very much appreciate it. The contact information is in the chat, but I will also send it out to you as students in a follow-up email. So thank you all. Enjoy your evening. Thank you. Thank you. Bye.